I'm Amanda McKay. I'm a professional artist and I'm making these videos of creativity tips to help people become more creative. And these tips are meant for anybody of any level of expertise. So even if you're just starting out with a creative hobby, these tips are meant to be useful for everybody. So for this tip, I want to talk about putting your ideas on autopilot and how that can help you come up with really good ideas. I did make a video earlier about setting an intention with a twist, where you're in the middle of working on your art and you have some kind of a question of what to do next that you need to resolve, and so you get up and leave for a little while and you set the intention that you're going to come up with the answer. This is different because this is something where you're not actively working on your art and maybe you're just brushing your teeth in the morning, for example, but you're just doing some mundane everyday task and you're just kind of mulling over whatever it is that you're planning to work on, or maybe, something you'll hope to work on in the future. You just kind of mull it over in your mind while you're just brushing your teeth and you're not really thinking actively about one or the other. And so this is something that recently worked out pretty well for me, where I was doing a series of videos, and the fifth video, I wasn't sure what to do with it. I wanted to have it where I find something unusual maybe, and it just wasn't seeming like it was working well. So I just was kind of just in the back of my mind thinking about the different videos that I had in this video series while I was getting ready in the morning. And I didn't set an intention or anything, because honestly at that point I wouldn't have even known like what I would want to ask about, what question I would want answered. Just kind of thinking about the different videos and how I was going to maybe fit this one in, and I wasn't paying attention to either thing. I was neither paying attention to the thoughts about the videos, and I wasn't paying attention to brushing my teeth really. They were both just on autopilot. And then of course that is where I came up with a perfect idea for what that fifth video was in the series was going to be. And it was just because I was not really actively thinking about it, but just kind of mulling over it in the background while I was doing just an everyday task. And sure enough, the idea came to me. And this has happened to me a lot of times. It can be when I have the TV on in the background, for example, and I'm just sitting there on the couch in the evening, and I've been, working on something, and I'm just still kind of thinking about it. And maybe because I'm not fully paying attention to either thing, that's where an idea comes in. Now, notice I said that I'm in both of those examples of where I might come up with an idea by having everything running on autopilot. Those are both things where the brushing the teeth and the having the TV on in the background, that's important because in neither case was I actively focusing on what I was doing. So if I were really engrossed in a TV show and really paying attention to it, then this tip probably wouldn't work. If I were like really, really concerned about how well I was brushing my teeth, which maybe I should be, and paying better attention to it, then I probably wouldn't have the other ideas running in the background about what the videos were going to be. So if, for example, you're like actively scrolling on your phone, this probably is not going to work. So you have to just mull over your ideas or whatever it is that you're working on while you're doing something that you're only halfway engaged in. So if that makes sense, you're halfway engaged in whatever task it is, whether it's getting ready in the morning or semi sort of watching TV, maybe something that you've seen a bunch of times before. And then you're halfway focusing on just whatever you're working on. And it doesn't even have to be, I'm predominantly an oil painter, and I can be thinking about a painting that I'm already working on where I don't really have any questions at that point about how I'm going to do it. But by thinking about the painting, maybe I will come up with the idea for the next painting, for example. So you're just on autopilot on both tasks, some kind of a task that you're not really paying attention to, and then also just kind of in the background thinking about one of your creative projects. And so that's just what I mean by coming up with ideas while you're on autopilot. So I hope this is helpful for you. Let me know in the comments. Again, my name is Manda McKay, and thank you so much for watching.